On this episode, I have two gracious guests who are taking over the financial world. They are two gentlemen that you can watch each and every week on YouTube, as well as the Earn Your Leisure podcast. They are making sure that financial freedom and the steps to building generational wealth are at your fingertips as they educate you and bring you through the journeys of several entrepreneurs, superstars, people in the music industry. They are the one and only Troy Millings and Rashad Bilal. What's going on, guys? How you doing?
I'm good.
What's going on, bro?
What's going on, bro?
Thank you for
Hey,
having us.
man. Hey, thank you for coming on. Really appreciate you coming on the show. Got to ask you this before we get started, because I know you guys are in a plethora of things as far as having shows out there, bringing on, allowing other people to spotlight what they do and their specialties. But how did the Earn Your Leisure podcast come together? And why did you feel like this was a time to bring this type of information to disseminate to our communities about financial literacy, about building generational wealth, and just educating us on finances as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of started in the classroom. I was doing a summer program where kids are going to get paid based on the internships that they performed at. And so if they performed in the classroom, they performed at the internships, they were going to get $500 for the entire summer. And so it was their first time coming in contact. They were 14 years old. They had no other job opportunities. They were too young to actually get a job, and they had age out of camp experiences. And so their first time in contact with money, we wanted to teach them about it. And so at the time, Rashad was starting his financial advising career. I was like, look, I want you to come in and teach financial literacy, because, kids don't know anything to do with money. They're going to spend it. And so we wanted to break that cycle. And so it started there in the classroom. We would come in, teach every Monday. And then that just started picking up speed. And then he had the great idea to say, look, we should start recording some of these classroom sessions. It's really good. Social media have been picking up. A great friend of ours was, becoming very Instagram famous. Shout out to Valencia. And he was like, look, I got an idea. Let's tape these classrooms and let's put it on social media. And it kind of went crazy from there.
Man, that's fantastic. I know I got a hold of you guys, and I will admit this. I was actually surfing through YouTube one day, and I saw two brothers on here talking about finances. So they immediately that drew me in as far as saying, okay, what are they talking about? What is this about finances? And, as we know, growing up, and our parents did the best that they could as far as what they knew, but it still wasn't enough for us to really understand banking, understanding, the importance of credit, mortgages, how to obtain a mortgage. And that's something that you all seem to really emphasize, especially in the Black community and communities of color. What is it about Earn Your Leisure that separates you off from the pack? Because I started to see a lot more people talking about, okay, credit, about financial literacy, but you guys seem to have honed a niche as far as impacting our community and really getting the understanding of, and people really succeeding by listening to your information, whether it's you guys talking about it or you interviewing someone in those particular fields.
I think it's just the originality and, us putting our own spin on it, where it's not pushy. It's not like, being a salesman. It's not corny. It's just, just the information in a language that people can understand, and something that I think people weren't really used to. The delivery is either, over their head, or, like I said, it's like real, like kind of gimmicky. And I think, when they saw us, everything, how we present ourselves, how we talk, the decor, everything, it was just very, down to earth, like barbershop conversation. It wasn't like we were trying to sell you a lifestyle and, get you to kind of buy into who we were as people. We just, just presented the information and just presented ourselves in a way that, was just true and honest, and there was a lot of transparency. So I think that that's something that, has been kind of our blueprint from day one, and what people have really liked about us, and has helped us to get to where we are now. People just kind of championed the authenticity of it. They kind of saw it and appreciated it.
Now, you guys have interviewed some incredible guests over the course of your time you guys having the show. I know you guys are out in public. We saw you a while back at BET weekend. You guys were sharp as a chillin' on Juneteenth. I got to admit, man. But just getting the reception from the people, because obviously that's what your audience is just reaching out to the people. But what has been the reception of the people, man? And have you been surprised or even just taken aback at how much the people really ingratiate what you all are disseminating out there as far as the information, and even the interviews as well?
No, it's been good. It's extremely humbling. Everywhere we go, people will stop us and they talk about, this helped me and I learned this. I started investing. I started Airbnb. I started a trucking company. So, it's just dope to actually be able to have some level of impact in people's lives for positivity and to, give them not only encouragement, but also put money in their pockets. So whenever you can actually help somebody's economic situation, they're always going to be, grateful. So it's been dope, bro. Like everywhere we go, from just being at a basketball game on the street to being in a college campus to being with executives all across the board. People from all areas of life, all walks of life, all races, all religions. Everybody has just shown us love, even in different countries. Like we went to Nigeria, we went to Jamaica, and we got love out there. So it's just dope to just have that level of impact for positivity, because there's a lot of negative things out there, and there's a lot of shock jock, and people do things just to get some clout. But it just feels good when you don't have to do that, when you can just do something that is just plain Jane, um, and not have to compromise your integrity or your morals, and still get that same level of respect. So it's been very humbling, and it's something that definitely keeps us going for sure.
Yeah, I definitely say it's the fuel that keeps us going, but it shows how much this information has been needed. So this moment is so pivotal, and we understand it. So yeah, humbling is the word, but it's energizing too, 'cause it's like, oh, there's so much further we can go with it, right? There's so many places that we can go, and so much information we can provide, and we understand the responsibility, and we take it on every day. Like, all right, well, today they don't know us, so we got to work harder. We just got to keep going, because it's not just our community, but it's really a world that really needs the
Mhm.
information, right? Because financial literacy is something that everybody needs to know. So it's humbling, and it definitely is the fuel that keeps us going every day.
Now, one thing I have to say, man, you guys have been friends for a very long time. It seems like more than just a friendship, more like a brotherhood. But how do you guys balance the friendship and the business side, and not let the two intertwine to the point where it affects one over the other?
Uh, I don't know, just kind of how we are, man. Like we've been friends longer than we've been business partners, and we've had businesses that haven't worked before. But like you said, it's rooted in brotherhood first, and so obviously, every day we're doing business, but every day I'm checking in, or he's checking in, like, how you doing? How's the fam doing? Are you good? Like, outside of all this, how are you doing? And that's important, right? Because there's only a few people that can understand what this experience is like, and that's gonna be me and him, because we have to go through it every day, and we have to be in the face of it every day. And so we have that common bond outside of the brotherhood. So I know if I got a problem, there's an issue, he gonna understand it, because he's probably facing something very similar. And then it's just putting egos to the side, right? Like, I know he's great at things. He knows that I'm great at things. I don't interfere with his greatness, and he kind of just trusts me to not interfere with my greatness. And so he gets to shine, and I get to shine. So it's kind of works out pretty well.
Now, you mentioned that you had some other businesses that didn't work out. How were you all able to propel past those things? Because it can be devastating. You put everything into a business, it doesn't work for whatever reason. How did you have the fortitude to continue on and to keep trying different things until you guys have arrived with Earn Your Leisure?
I think it's just a matter of looking at it like not really a failure, but just a learning lesson. And when you realize, like, that for me at least, it was always business. Never really had a job, so I always looked at it like, really, then there's no fallback plan. You just gotta just try to figure it out until you get something that works. So starting businesses and learning was just always something that just came natural. It wasn't something I looked at like, damn, this didn't work out, I gotta, because there's nothing else to do, it's just go back to a different business for me. So I always looked at it like, anything that we do, if it doesn't work out, it's a learning experience, and then we just try again next time. It's not like we're actually trying to hit a home run. It's just
Mhm.
like, you just see, okay, this something that we interested in right now. It has some potential. Let's see what happens. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, but that's life in general. So I feel like people get caught up in things that when it doesn't go, and they let themselves get into a deep bout of, like, depression, and they feel like they let themselves down and different things of that nature. But that's not really the best way to go about it. The best way to go about it is just give it your all, try your best, and just see what happens. And then if it doesn't work out, then just try again.
Absolutely. You guys have done an excellent job of pushing the culture forward. But I want to ask you all specifically, how important is Black media? And also, how important is it for Black creatives to have a space in order for them to bring certain issues to light and be able to have that creative space to do so.
And I think it's very important. You know, that's when we started. It was a podcast, but now it's a media company, and media is probably the most important thing in the world to be able to control your narrative. And if you think about it, like, you know, that's we talking about propaganda from America, from Russia, all of that is done through media. So, you know, people don't really fully appreciate the value of media. Even Elon Musk, you know, trying to buy Twitter, that's a media play. Like, you know, to be able to have control over one of the most powerful social media sites. It's called social media for a reason because it's a form of media, and right now it's the most powerful form of media. So I feel like, you know, for too long we have not had the outlets to tell our stories, and we always try to have to pitch our stories to outlets and try to convince them it's a good idea, and, you know, go off of their budgets and let them kind of dictate the stories however they feel is good to be dictated. So now it's like, for us, we have a platform, we have a company, we have an outlet, and we could do whatever we want. We don't have to ask permission. We don't have to, you know, try to convince anybody that it's a good idea. We don't have to try to convince anybody to open up a budget for us. We get to put out content, and it gives us a lot of leverage, and it gives us an opportunity to spread our narrative all over the world. So now it's like people in the UK, people in Africa, people in the Caribbean, they get to see our side of the story, as opposed to just seeing one side of the coin of sports and entertainment and negativity. They get to see positive. Oh, it's entrepreneurs out there in Baltimore and Chicago. It's real estate investors in Texas. It's, you know, it's like they probably would have never even imagined that from the other media outlets that was giving them information. All they saw was just negativity. So now they get to see, you know, Black Americans actually doing something productive and positive, and it gives them hope, it gives them inspiration. And now we get to, you know, highlight them. So we went to London and we highlighted entrepreneurs in London, and, you know, we go different places, we get to highlight entrepreneurs in different parts of the world. So now it just kind of becomes like a domino effect. So media, I think, is extremely important. It's very important for us to support our media outlets, and it's very important for us to, you know, tell our stories the right way.
Indeed. Now, you guys talked about going from a podcast to a media company. You got, like I said before, unselfishly, you've been able to bring out other opportunities for other folks that are working with you. 19 Keys, Wall Street Trapper. Talk to me about those two individuals, and how did you come upon those two individuals, and why did you feel like this was the opportunity for you all to display them and allow them their lane to be able to put their information out and reach out to the people as well?
Yeah, I think from day one, it's never been about us, right? Like, it's never been the Troy and Rashad show. It's about highlighting people that have brilliance in other avenues, and we all know that if we come together, we're gonna go a lot further. And so 19 Keys is one of those people. We, you know, the greatest thought leader of our time. And when we heard that, I'm like, yeah, he is, because he says he is. And if you listen to him talk, you have to agree. Wall Street Trapper, the same thing. We saw something special, right? Like, nobody was talking about stocks in the way that he has. And it was like, all right, this is special, right? Let's highlight him. Let's get his expertise, because we very humble in saying, like, yeah, we know some of these things, but we don't know everything. And so there was no outlets for entrepreneurs, like we said earlier, to have their voice and have their stories told. And so, like, when people hear him, they're more likely to say, like, he's more relatable. His story is similar to mine. Whereas all we ever saw was athletes being highlighted or entertainers being highlighted. Now you got a guy who looks like he comes from your neighborhood, sounds like he's coming from your neighborhood, and he's doing something that can actually change your life. And so we've done that plenty of times. And, you know, Ian Dunlap's another one of those guys. We have a show with him on Market Mondays. It's never been about us. It's about highlighting our community, because we go further together. And as soon as we realize somebody has a greatness or expertise in a space, and they come up from a community that looks like ours, even south to Chicago, mobile homes, right? Like, a couple that lived in the inner city that was doing something that wasn't traditional to our community. So anytime we get to highlight people like that, tell a story, not only does it give information to people, but it encourages people to say, like, oh, I could do it. They're from where I'm from.
Yeah, definitely. Now, I want to get into this because I would be remiss if I did. Now, you know, the spring and the summertime is always for concerts, festivals, things of that nature. But you two have brought something even more incredible to the landscape as far as the Invest Fest. Now, I got to say, fellas, this is something that's going to be incredible. I'm trying to buy my ticket now to get down there, because I don't want to miss out. I mean, you guys are bringing Steve Harvey, Rick Ross, Charlemagne the God. Obviously, you mentioned 19 Keys, Wall Street Trapper. You got Miss Diddy coming. You got Terrence J coming, and countless others. What is it about this Invest Fest that's going to really be able to be impactful? Why bring the Invest Fest to the people now at this particular point in space?
Yeah, we got a bunch of other surprises that we haven't announced yet
Uh-oh.
either.
Yeah.
So Invest Fest is going to be a vibe. But I mean, I feel like, like you said, it's festival season. But when you think about festivals, you always think about musical festivals, whether we was at the Roots Picnic, whether Made in America, Coachella, all of these great, musical festivals. But there was never a festival that was around business. It's like there's like conferences and things of that nature. So it's like, how do we take the best elements of festival feel, festival weekend, but make it around business? So we have all these different people come in. We have vendors, kind of like how Essence has a vendor marketplace. We got a vendor marketplace for small businesses to sell their product. We got musical performances, VIP night, experiences, food trucks, after parties, just we wanted to make a whole vibe, but center it around the core tenets of what we've built the platform on, which is business and investing. So it's like, you can come and just have a great experience, network, meet people, have fun, get entertained, party, but also be educated and learn and leave with some jewels and leave with some contacts. Also, it's going to be a great networking tool. So it was just like, why not? And, the idea Invest Fest just, seemed like a great name. So that was just like, perfect for that. And it's just a way just to leverage a lot of our relationships. So like, shout out to Rick Ross, shout out to T.I., shout out to all those guys who's just going to come and they're going to be part of Invest Fest also. But like you said, you got the 19 Keys of the world, got Wall Street Trapper, got Ian Dunlap of the world. Then you got, guys like Dan Cathy, who people might not be familiar with, but the billionaire CEO, former CEO of Chick-fil-A, right? So like real high level business people. Then you got Steve Harvey. So it's like, how do you mix all this entertainment, social media, business, finance? How do you mix it all together and put it in a blender? And that's something that, we kind of built Earn Your Leisure on anyway. Like that has always been the core principles of what we stood for was, we blend everything together with the fashion, with the music, with the sports, because that's just who we are as people. Like, it's not like we didn't like grow up just on business and, went to Harvard Business School our whole lives. Like, we had to learn business, but we didn't have to learn culture because we are the culture. So, now it's just a way to blend all of that together, which that's easy for us because like I said, that's something that we just been doing that our whole lives. So now we just get to have fun with it. And, but more importantly, get to just have a greater impact. When you talk about like 10,000 people coming together to learn about financial literacy and investing, and most of it, Black and brown people, that's powerful in a city like Atlanta, which is, the Mecca of Black.
Yeah.
You got this on right now. ATL is culture. So Atlanta is the Mecca of Black business and Black culture, period, right now in the world. It's one of the capitals of Black excellence.
Mm-hmm.
So we felt like that was just a perfect place to do it. And we're looking forward to it. August 5th through the 7th. We got VIP experience. It's gonna be a vibe. So I'm excited. And I can't wait to see everybody down there for sure.
Nick, you got to make sure you're there. You got to make sure you're there.
I'm coming, man. Like I said, man, I've been searching Priceline and everywhere else, man, to get these airline tickets popping, man. So I'm definitely. It's August 5th through the 7th. For more information, make sure you check out investfest.com. Get your tickets before they are gone. They got VIP experiences, general experiences. You definitely don't want to miss it. Investfest.com in Atlanta, Georgia, August 5th through the 7th. Man, I'm going to be there. I'm telling you now. Troy and Rashad are my witness. I'm going to be there somehow, some way. If I got to get that by Pony Express.
Done deal.
So talk to me about, because you guys have, it's almost to me, I feel like Earn Your Leisure is like a great pot of gumbo, right? You guys just mix every walk of life, every entity, you guys put it together. The one thing I noticed about you all, as far as the guest list goes, because you guys have had some great guests, but the one guest to me that stood out was Steve Harvey, because you guys brought him back twice relatively quickly. So what was it about Steve Harvey that you felt there was a time to bring him back, and then talk about different aspects of not only his lifestyle, but then the financial ups and downs that he experienced that you feel like people would resonate with and be able to learn something from?
Yeah, I mean, Steve Harvey, that the process of having him on was like a 2-year process. And so most people don't realize that. They just see the end result of it. But we were trying because we understand his impact on our culture, right? Like, he's a generational talent in the sense of, my kids know him. My son is 8 years old, but he knows him from Family Feud. But I grew up on him being Steve Harvey's show and watching him at the Apollo. And so he's cross-generational in that sense. And he's had ups and downs in his career. But we hadn't heard the stories. Like, we kind of read some articles, but he never got a full chance to explain the story. And so when he got the opportunity to do that, I mean, it was just, we knew it once we finished it, like this is going to be one of those special ones. And we had a great conversation with him prior to the interview and after. And what came from that was like just a commonality. He loved what we were doing. Obviously, we admired his work. And he was like, look, if you guys are anything in business that y'all involved in, I would love to be involved in it. And it just made perfect sense for us. Like, this is a guy who can mentor us as far as, you know, in business, right? Because he's had some trials and tribulations, but he's overcame them. And he's looking forward to the future from a global expansion. And that's something that we were doing. We were like looking like, hey, how do we spread our brand across the world? And that's something that he's kind of mastered, especially in Africa, well, everything he has going on there. And so it was like a perfect match. And so we brought him back because, you know, obviously he became a partner with us in InvestFest. And we just wanted to spread the word that, you know, number one, that we can do business together as Black men, but also look at what two brands can do when they come together to spread a global message. And so it's been a great relationship thus far. And I see it. I mean, I can't give you everything, but there's more to come.
Oh, I'm looking forward to. I think everybody's definitely looking forward to that. Yeah. Is there anybody else that you all want to talk to that you have yet to talk to? I know I'm sure the list is long, but anybody in the near future or specifically that you would say, hey man, these are the people that we want to sit down with and kind of pick their brains on some things and be able to put that out?
Yeah, for sure. I think, I mean, of course, Jay-Z, you know, that's somebody that's been a favorite of ours for a long time. People like Nas, LeBron James, but then also, you know, people like Elon Musk, people like Jeff Bezos. You know, I feel like that would be legendary conversations across the board. So we always aim for the highest level. So that's just a few people for sure. Kanye West.
Yeah.
Definitely Kanye.
Yeah, there's a list of, I think, 8 Black billionaires, and so we're just gonna cross everyone off, whether it be Rihanna, like you said, Ye, not Robert Smith, who we have a relationship with him. Tyler Perry is another one. So, you know,
Robert Smith too, though.
Yeah, I said we got to have him. We're just gonna cross off as many as we can, because we know what it is to see us, right? Like as soon as we see us, it gives us inspiration to try to be it. And so we want to give people the opportunity to see us through a different lens, right? When we went to Africa, it was very intentional. Like the goal was to like, hey, let's interview Enrico Dangote, who's the wealthiest Black person on the planet. Many people probably not familiar with him, but you know, I feel like if we can give the narrative and paint the picture of how beautiful Africa is, and this is some of the wealthiest people in the world that come from here, you know, we can change the outlook for a continent from our community. So, you know, just to exploring as many avenues and highlight as many people as we can to inspire as many people as we can.
Yeah, I definitely learned a lot of different aspects from people through you all, because I was exposed from those people as far as their journey and their story through you all. So I definitely appreciate you guys for doing that. There's one person I will say I hope you guys have an opportunity to interview, and that's Dr. Dre.
Yeah, Dre, of course.
I can't wait to see that interview. I'll be glued.
We're getting closer.
Dr. Dre.
Absolutely.
I'll give you that. We are getting closer. Oprah as well.
Ooh, that's a big one. Yeah, definitely. Okay. Well, I'm going to do a couple rapid fire questions real quick before I let you guys get on out of here. Now, I got to ask, if you guys were on an island and you only had 3, CDs, albums, whatever you want to call it, to listen to, and 3 movies to watch, what would they be? I'm going to start with Troy and I'm going to go over to Rashad. So Rashad's kind of off the hot seat a little bit.
That's easy. 3 albums?
3 albums and 3 movies.
Nas, Illmatic, Usher, Confessions, and probably Biggie's Life After Death. And 3 movies, House Party, Casino, and I want to say Goodfellas, but I already got my Casino. But we'll say Goodfellas for now.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely for the albums, I gotta go with Victory Lap. Rest in peace to Nip. It Was Written by Nas, and Confessions is definitely one of my favorites, but he said Confessions, so I'll go with Jay. I throw some Jay in there and go with Reasonable Doubt. And then for the movies, Clockers, definitely one of my favorite.
Yo, Nick, the better question would have been for me to name. Okay, keep going.
Clockers, Usual Suspects,
Ooh,
for sure.
ooh.
Definitely one of my favorites of all time. And I would say Casino, but like I said, he already said Casino. That's definitely one of my favorite movies of all time, also. But I throw a Denzel movie in there, and I go with Malcolm X.
Ooh.
That's very impactful, very important movie for sure.
Yo, I would have guessed. Like, if you asked me what movie he's bringing, I definitely would have said Clockers.
Hey, Clockers is classic.
Yo, he the only guy that has it in his top 5. Everything.
Shout out to Spike Lee. That's another person we got to talk to.
Fact.
Oh, facts. Yeah, Spike is that OG dude for sure.
Yeah,
Definitely.
For sure.
Now, I gotta also ask you: is there anybody that you guys are looking at? I know you talked about 19 Keys, you talked about Wall Street Trapper, but is there anybody else that's on your radar that you want to bring into the Earn Your Leisure Media family?
Yeah, that's a good question. We definitely want to bring a female in. Nobody in particular per se right now, but it would be dope to kind of balance it out, because everybody that's on, I mean, shout out to Kiana Watson, but she's on with MG the Mortgage Guy. They have a show called Rants and Gems. They co-host, but we don't have any like solo show for a female. So I think that would be dope to get that feminine energy. And it doesn't have to be about business. It could be about a variety of different things. So I think that would be something that we definitely would be interested in for sure.
That's how it's female solo or even female duo, just to balance the network out.
Yeah, that would be dope. Now, give me your top 3 kicks you must have when traveling. You got to have your top 3 kicks, man.
He's going first?
I'll let Rashad go first this time.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's I wear Pumas pretty much all the time, the GV specifically. So that's like kind of like how Air Force Ones are. I look at them like that, like, they're classic, very clean sneakers. And then I wear a brand called Goodman shoes a lot. They're like dress up sneakers, kinda. You get them from like Nordstrom's or Neiman Marcus and stuff like that. So those are all, and they're like real clean, and I wear those at like nighttime a lot. So I would say that, and then flip flops. For me, I wear flip flops a lot. I'm wearing flip flops right now, especially when it's hot. Wear the flip flops a lot. And variety of different type of flip flops: Nike, Adidas, Gucci, whatever. But you always got to keep a pair of flip flops at all time.
Yeah. So is the top 3 that we travel with, or top 3 all time?
Top 3, whatever you want to do.
All right, so he did. I'll do my top 3 all time. My number 1 is the Concord Jordan 11. I don't travel with it too much, just because I've had issues with people taking things out of my luggage. So I got 2 or 3 of those. The Air Max 95 is in my top 5, and then Bo Jackson, the SC Trainer, the Auburn edition, that orange and blue is it sits special when the sun hits it. So those are definitely top 3. Those are top 3. And then I guess like kind of honorable mention to Jordan 3, any color.
Okay. Yeah, I feel Rashad on the flip flops, man, because that's a must have. And I feel you on the Concord, because I'm nervous when I take my Concords on the road, because I really pray and put some sage on the luggage, hoping that nobody gets into it. So I feel you on that.
Yeah, the rule is that, so I just carry in my book bag now. So everywhere we got, I packed at least 5 pairs of sneakers. Any city, I'm always like conscious, like, did I wear these in this city before? And so I got to make sure that in every city getting a new flavor.
Absolutely. Last thing before I let you guys get on out of here, man, Earn Your Leisure has definitely been impactful to the degree, and continues to be impactful. And I just want to say congratulations to you both, and thank you both for having the fortitude and the willingness to be able to share information, not only from YouTube, but be able to branch out and allow others to share their stories, and allow us in the media, in the audience, to be inspired by what you all do. So I just want to give you all your flowers while I can, and say thank you for what you're doing and continuing to do. Definitely looking forward to Invest Fest, and looking forward to even more content that you guys are continuing to put out to help us in our journey towards financial freedom. Assets over liabilities. I love the t-shirt. What do you want people to know about assets over liabilities?
I think everything in life can be classified as an asset or a liability, whether it's people, whether it's actual, physical things. whether it's thoughts. So the key is just to always have more assets than liabilities. So that's why it's assets over liabilities. And that's, of course, in the finance world, but also just in general. Like I said, it's like a person could be a liability or a person could be an asset to you. So always try to have more assets than liabilities. Because ultimately, if you don't, then that's when you're going to be upside down. So that's something that, is kind of a play on words and has become very, very popular, but part of pop culture at this point. Everybody tells some form of fashion. They reference assets over liabilities a lot. So yeah, I mean, of course, like I said, from a finance standpoint, you want to make sure that you have real estate, stocks, crypto, different things of that nature, where there's assets that'll appreciate over the course of time, and less liabilities like, just clothes or like, things of that nature, where it's not going to really appreciate over time. It's just going to go down in value. But also take an inventory of your life and see if your friends are assets, if they're adding to you, if they're giving you information, if they're keeping you positive, or if they're liabilities, if they're, subtracting from you, if they're, draining and they're only talking about gossip. Relationships the same way, right? So everything has to be an asset. So assets over liabilities in all facets of life.
Hey man, well said. Really quick, mental health. We always talk about mental health and stability. How does Troy and Rashad detach, decompress, and recharge their batteries and get off the grid so you guys can be at your best in your A games, especially you guys, being family men and whatnot?
It's tough. It's tough, but I've kind of come up with a system that works for me. Obviously having a wife and 2 kids, they need time. My wife needs her husband, and my kids need their father. And so just carving out time, especially when we're home, because we travel a lot. Being not only just being there, but being present is something that I've really focused on, and that's being involved in everything that got going on when I'm here, and making sure that they have my full and undivided attention, which is tough because there's always something happening. And so I know after a certain time that I don't look at my phone. I try not to, unless he calls me, then I know something serious. So, like I try to do that, and it allows me to be involved and be engaged. And that's something like when I was saying about balance, like I know he's on social media, and that's kind of something that he's great at. And so I don't have to be great at that. And so it allows me to kind of like every now and then or a few hours out the day, just be focused on family. And kind of trying to work on balance. I know it's tough to have balance, but it's been working for me thus far. And having a strong system, like I have a strong support system. My wife is incredible, and so she makes sure that there's things playing when I'm here and things are playing when I'm not, and try to include my family in it as well. Obviously, I have nieces and nephews and brothers, that are like, hey, that guy's not around as much, and so anytime that we can organize something that everybody can be involved in, they make sure that I'm there.
Yeah, I think, just trying to spend as much time with family as possible. I have a son, so go to his basketball games on the weekend, spend time with him. And yeah, just try to just, keep your eyes on the prize and realize that there's always something else to do. So never get too high, never get too low. Just try to stay even keel and just keep working.
Hey, again, I appreciate you both for your time and your information. Greatly appreciated. Troy Millings, Rashad Bilal. They are known as Earn Your Leisure Show, Earn Your Leisure Podcast, and Earn Your Leisure Media. Definitely thank you, gentlemen, so much for tapping in with me. I really appreciate it. Please let everyone know they continue to keep up with you and find you on social media.
Yeah, thank you for having us. Appreciate it. Earn Your Leisure across all social media platforms, YouTube. And yeah, go to investfest.com if you want to get tickets to InvestFest, August 5th through 7th in Atlanta. EYLUniversity.com has all the information for our online educational platform. So thank you for having us, brother. I appreciate it.
Hey, appreciate you. And shout out to my man AB for putting this all together. Thank you so much. That's a good guy right there. Appreciate it.